The room erupted in smiles when Grandpa's fortune was divided. My sister was already talking about vacations. My uncle was calculating investments. My aunt was crying tears of happiness. Then the lawyer looked directly at me. Everyone expected him to announce my share. Instead, he handed me a small card with a phone number written on it. My sister laughed so hard she nearly fell out of her chair. Then I made the call, and the voice that answered changed everything. My name is Emma, and until the day Grandpa's will was read, I believed I knew my family. We celebrated holidays together, attended birthdays together, and pretended to care about one another whenever cameras were around. Looking back now, I realize we were never really a family. We were competitors waiting for the final prize. Grandpa Richard had built a business empire worth tens of millions of dollars. He started with a tiny repair shop and spent 50 years turning it into one of the most successful companies in the state. Everyone respected him, but few truly loved him. Most relatives only showed up when they needed money, favors, or opportunities. I was different. Every Sunday, I visited him simply because I enjoyed hearing his stories. We would drink coffee on his porch and talk about life. At the time, I never imagined those conversations would eventually save me. The day of the will reading felt strangely cold despite the summer heat. The conference room was filled with expensive suits, fake smiles, and nervous excitement. My Uncle David sat closest to the lawyer, as if proximity could somehow increase his inheritance. My Aunt Carol kept whispering about beach houses. My sister Jessica was scrolling through luxury car websites before the meeting had even started. Their confidence made me uncomfortable, but I stayed quiet. When the lawyer began reading the document, everything happened exactly as everyone expected. My uncle inherited several properties. My aunt received investment accounts worth millions. My sister gained ownership stakes in several businesses. One by one, every family member received something valuable. Every announcement made their smiles wider. Then my name came up. The lawyer paused. The room became silent. Instead of reading an inheritance amount, he reached into a folder and handed me a plain white card. Written on it was a phone number and a simple instruction. Call immediately after the reading. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Jessica burst out laughing. Soon, others joined her. My uncle joked that Grandpa must have left me the number of a homeless shelter. My aunt suggested it might be a customer service line where I could ask for financial assistance. Their laughter filled the room while I stared at the card in confusion. The lawyer never laughed. That detail stayed with me. When the meeting ended, everyone gathered around discussing their new wealth. Nobody paid attention as I walked into an empty hallway and dialed the number. The phone rang once. A woman answered. Her voice was calm and professional. Finally, I've been waiting for your call, heir. My heart nearly stopped. Before I could respond, she asked for a password. Immediately, I remembered something Grandpa had told me years earlier. During one of our Sunday conversations, he had asked me a strange question. If you ever need to know who truly loved me, what word would you use? I had answered without thinking, lighthouse. The woman asked for the same word. When I said it, there was a long silence. Then she said something that sent chills through my body. Your grandfather was right about you. I leaned against the wall as she explained that she had worked for Grandpa for nearly 20 years. Her job was to oversee a contingency plan that would only activate after his death. Grandpa believed someone inside the family had been stealing from him, and he spent years gathering evidence. He trusted almost nobody. According to her, he trusted only two people completely. Her and me. I thought she was mistaken, but she wasn't. She instructed me to return to the conference room and pay close attention to the final envelope the lawyer would open before everyone left. When I walked back inside, the atmosphere had changed. The relatives were still celebrating, but the lawyer looked uneasy. He opened a sealed envelope and cleared his throat. There is one final instruction from Mr. Richard Thompson. The room fell silent. According to this instruction, all inherited assets remain under temporary review until an independent audit is completed. Suddenly, nobody looked happy anymore. Questions exploded across the room. My uncle demanded answers. My sister complained loudly. The lawyer raised his hand and continued reading. The audit had already begun months earlier. Grandpa had secretly hired forensic accountants and private investigators. The results would be released within 48 hours. Panic spread instantly. For the first time all day, I saw fear. That evening, the mysterious woman called again. She gave me an address and told me to go there alone. The location was a private storage facility on the edge of town. Inside the unit were dozens of boxes, hard drives, ledgers, and recorded interviews. Every piece of evidence had been organized with military precision. Grandpa had documented everything. As I reviewed the files, my hands began shaking. The thief was not one person, it was several. My uncle had secretly transferred company funds into offshore accounts. My aunt had manipulated property records. Even worse, my sister had helped them hide evidence. The people who claimed to love Grandpa had spent years stealing from him. The next 2 days felt unreal. Investigators reviewed the evidence while lawyers prepared legal actions. Family members who had spent decades acting powerful suddenly became desperate. Phones rang nonstop. Excuses appeared everywhere. Nobody accepted responsibility. Then came the final family meeting. This time nobody smiled. The investigators presented their findings one by one. Financial fraud, forged signatures, stolen assets, hidden transactions. Each revelation felt heavier than the last. My sister broke down crying when recordings were played. My uncle turned pale when investigators showed transfer records. My aunt refused to look at anyone. Then the lawyer revealed Grandpa's final message. A video appeared on a large screen. Grandpa looked directly into the camera. He said wealth reveals character faster than poverty ever could. He explained that he had spent years watching his family make choices. Some chose greed, some chose dishonesty, some chose shortcuts. Then he looked directly into the camera and smiled, and one chose loyalty. The room became silent. Grandpa explained that my true inheritance had never been listed in the original will because he needed to know who would expose themselves after his death. The audit had been the final test. The people who stole from him failed. I passed. The lawyer opened one final folder. Inside were ownership documents transferring full control of Grandpa's holding company to me. The value exceeded everything the others had inherited combined. Nobody spoke. Nobody argued. I knew they had lost. Not because Grandpa loved me more, because they had betrayed him. Months later, the legal battles ended. Several relatives faced criminal charges. Others settled civil claims and disappeared from my life completely. The family gatherings stopped. The fake smiles vanished. Sometimes people ask if I was angry about everything that happened. The truth is more complicated. I was sad that money destroyed relationships, sad that greed blinded people who once had every opportunity to do the right thing. But I was also grateful because Grandpa left me something far more valuable than wealth. He left me proof that character matters. And every time I think about that phone call, I remember the words that changed my life forever. I've been waiting for your call, heir. The relatives who laughed when I received a phone number believed they had already won. What they never understood was that Grandpa's greatest inheritance was never money. It was trust. In the end, the people who chased millions lost everything, while the person they mocked became the one person Grandpa believed deserved his legacy.